Libra, happy July 2017. Hope everybody is doing fantastic. This is Dark Dove Tarot. Again, this is for July 2017. Hope everybody is doing wonderful. I am shuffling the cards. As you know, I always pre-shuffle, but I'm going to add a little energy before we get started. As I said last month, I have decided to go ahead and start looking into singles and people wanting to reconcile instead of singles and couples, because singles tend to be the ones that contact me the most, or anybody looking to reconcile seem to be the ones contacting me, you know, asking questions, private reads, etc. So I feel like maybe that's who really, you know, is interested in seeing these every month. So again, that's what I've done. If you're upset about it, let me know, but I haven't had any complaints thus far. So hopefully everybody is happy about it. As always, check your sun, moon, and rising, because those may resonate with you sometimes more or add more clarity to this read. Donations, private reads, likes, subscribes, comments, etc. they're all appreciated. So here we go. As you know, I read pretty fast because I have a lot to say and a lot to get out. Again, this is Libra, July 2017. So let's get started. As you know, we always start with your current state of mind or current position coming into the month. And you have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen is actually, you know, very headstrong. This is somebody who has a lot of ferocity, somebody who is feeling very confident or presenting confidence. Again, this is the position you're coming into the month. So this tells me that, you know, some of you are maybe having to overcome something. You're putting on a brave face. You're kind of showing the world, look what I can do. If you're single, this is almost about making waves, but not necessarily like in the romantic sense, but like, kind of like I've got things I'm doing, and I'm, you know, making things happen, and, you know, take it or leave it type thing. It's interesting because for anybody who's single, this also tells me that some of you are maybe feeling confident enough to date or wanting to date, but you're almost feeling like you haven't been happy with dating at all. So you're feeling like very like rare about it, like passionate about dating, meeting somebody, falling in love, but very like, you know, kind of fiery, almost like, is it worth it? Is it worth my time? Is it something I want to do? I know I want to meet somebody that I care about. I know I want to meet somebody that I love, but it's almost like some of you are having very mixed feelings. If you're looking to reconcile, this tells me that some of you are kind of putting on that confident face. Maybe like, hey, I'm here, you know, see me roar type thing. But, you know, you don't want to get too cocky with it, because if you truly want to reconcile with somebody, or if you're truly interested in getting back together with somebody, you know, and I feel like for some of you it was like a marriage or, you know, something pretty major. And if you're interested in getting back together, you want to be confident, but it feels like maybe you're showing them like, hey, you know, I can date, I'm still sexy, I, you know, can do my thing. But for anybody looking to reconcile, it can be almost like you're putting on that brave face to let them know you don't really need them. So that's good, but at the same time, you've got to have that humbleness to go along with it as well. It's interesting because I think it was Leo that got the same card, and I actually had some people email me saying that was really kind of in tune with them. For anybody looking to reconcile, that they kind of felt like, hey, I'm going to go out and have fun, and I'm going to do my own thing, but I'm not going to go like sleep with a bunch of people or do anything crazy, because I don't want to lose my chances completely. And I kind of am getting that same feeling for you too, Libra, on this card. So let's see how you're feeling on the inside. The next card you have is any feelings or challenges that either help or hinder the Queen of Wands. And you have the Five of Cups. So you're feeling, or you're behaving like this, but you're kind of feeling like this. This is like loss, grief, sadness, feeling, you know, a sense of solitude. So For some of you who are single, maybe you're feeling like you've been trying and trying and trying, and you've been trying to meet people online, and it just hasn't been working out, and you're feeling very kind of down. You're still holding this confident feeling, and you're still being this brave face, but you're feeling kind of like, is it really worth it? Is it ever going to happen? Is, you know, maybe you're meeting a lot of jerks. Maybe you're, you know, dating online. As we all know, that can be pretty difficult. So the 5 tells me that maybe you're missing somebody because, you know, there's this person in the back, but they're almost like a ghost or a bird in the back. They're almost like a ghostly figure. So maybe you're missing somebody that, you know, from a long time ago that you're not, you know, is still in the back of your mind. And maybe you're missing a happy time that you had, and you really want to find that again, but you're starting to feel almost defeated. For anybody looking to reconcile, it's the same type of thing. I feel like you're putting on this face, but you're not going to take it too far, because you know inside that the person that you want to be with is the person for you. You've just got to figure out how you're going to make it work, whether you're going to contact them or they're going to contact you. However, there's going to be some sort of communication. I feel like with the 5, there will be communication, but maybe you just need some solitude. Maybe you just need some time apart. Maybe you just don't need to be with that person right now because there's other things going on, or, you know, I'm not sure how to explain this, but it's almost like, you know, there's this connection, right? And for some of you, like I said, it was a marriage, or it was something pretty special. It was a few years that you were together, and you have that connection, and they're still there, but it's like it's almost like it's hard to see or remember or feel what it was like to be with that person. And that makes you almost nervous, and that might be part of the sadness, because you want to reconcile, but you're kind of worried that it's fading away. And for singles, this tells me too, that, you know, again, it could be almost the same thing, like where you had good relationships and you're kind of wondering, you know, where have all the good guys gone, or where have all the good girls gone? And, you know, it's making you feel overwhelmed because you have felt it before and you want that. You're just not finding what you want. The next card you have is always the distant past. So over the past couple of years, could be 10 years, could be 5 years, and you have the 4 of Cups. So as I always tell everybody, the reason, or as I always tell you guys lately, I've been explaining the past card because I think sometimes people wonder, well, why does it change every month and why do we need to go through it? Well, these are traits or events that happened in your past that may be reflecting themselves now, that may be kind of helping or hindering, you know, why you're single or what you're going through. Maybe things that you remember that were awesome and you want to get back to that place. Maybe things that you remember that you don't want to get back to that place. The 4 of Cups is interesting because I always read this for singles and anybody wanting to reconcile together, because you both could have been in similar relationships. But the 4 of Cups is like not paying attention. This is about taking for granted, self-absorption. So for some of you, Libra, I feel like you were honestly the one who was taking other people for granted. You were self-absorbed. Maybe you had a lot going on. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but we can all behave like that. So nobody's, you know, nobody's ever not behaved self-absorbed at some point in their life. And sometimes it's, you know, what you needed to do for that situation. But this tells me that for some of you, Libras, you were kind of wasting time. Like you knew that this person that you developed a relationship with wasn't the person for you, but you let it go deeper and deeper and deeper. And instead of cutting your losses and run or being honest with your feelings, you allowed it to happen. And then somebody got seriously hurt. Or you felt sorry for them. So you were staying with them because you felt sorry for them. And it ended up making it worse because in the end they got hurt, and maybe you truly realized you do care about them or did care about them, and now it's like they would never, you know, give you the time of day to go back. On the flip side, I feel like for a lot of you Libras, you were taken advantage of, and the other person was self-absorbed because they were wasting your time and they were feeling sorry for you almost, or they were sticking with you to get something rather than actually truly loving you. I feel like they loved you at one point, but maybe they just stopped, or maybe they, you know, always were in that mentality of the grass is always greener. So again, I think it could be either way. I know I'll probably get messages from people saying, I was never self-absorbed. I would never take advantage of anybody. Well, people do, and none of us are perfect. But I do get the sense that a lot of you Libras were hurt along the way. And that's where this confident face is coming in this month, because you're going, I'm not going through that again. I won't, be taken advantage of. I won't be taken for granted. Nobody's going to pull the wool over my eyes. So you're putting on this face, but in reality, you just want to find somebody special. You just want to love on somebody. You've got to be careful with this, though, too, because not everybody's the same. And you've also got to be careful, because if it was you behaving like this, you might see a pattern. I mean, maybe there's a reason that people don't stick around, or maybe there's a reason relationships are short term, because maybe you're always looking for something greener. You're always looking for a greener pasture. And so you want to be careful with that. Or, again, the opposite. You don't want to be too Queen of Wands. I got to be so careful, and I've got this taken care of, and I'm not going to let anybody walk all over me, because then you might miss out on something pretty special. So, the 4 definitely tells me that in the past, some of you were hurt pretty badly, and you felt completely taken advantage of. The next card you have is going to be your immediate past. So over the past few weeks, and you have the 2 of Coins. So the 2 of Coins over the past few weeks tells me that you are, you're like kind of taking charge, right? You're balancing your life right now. You're changing things in your life, and you're getting your priorities straight. So it feels like maybe you have this fierce face on, because you're realizing that you need to make changes too. Kind of what you put out in the universe is what you're going to get, right? And so I get the feeling a lot of you have priorities that have nothing to do with relationships or being single and finding a relationship. I feel like a lot of you the past few weeks have just been, maybe exercising more, or going to counseling, or moving, or going to meditation. You're doing things that you need to do to kind of get your priorities straight. Maybe you're working more. Maybe you're working less. This is about balancing out your life. So maybe you have had vices, or you have been, kind of doing this solitude, and maybe the past few weeks, you're trying to get yourself out of that. You're trying to break patterns and habits. You're making changes that are going to allow you to bring in the relationship you want. So it's very interesting. I get the feeling that a lot of you are not even thinking about dating, or not even thinking about love. This is more thinking about, you want to be this. You want to find this other person, but you've got to balance things out. Like maybe you weren't taking care of yourself, and now you're, you've gone to the doctor, or you're, eating healthier, you're, doing things that better yourself. And it just feels like you're kind of like, okay, I realize that I want to find somebody amazing, but in order to do that, I have to change things about myself too. I can't always assume that it's the other person that's causing the issue, because I'm responsible as well. It takes 2 to tango. You can't always point fingers without pointing one at yourself, right? And I get the feeling that a lot of you are kind of going, hey, I have been on the defense because I don't want this, but now I need to change that, and I need to change the way that I'm thinking about dating. So for a lot of you, you're even saying, to yourself, hey, I've gone about this all the wrong way. I'm picking the wrong people, or, I'm picking the right people and not making the right decisions when it comes to them, or, etc. It feels really, Libra, like you've put this wall around yourself, and no matter who you've dated, you haven't let that wall down. And so it's kind of like they're having to break down the wall, and if they get a little too close, or if they make you a little too uncomfortable, or if they push you a little too much, you build that brick back up, and now you're kind of like, all right, I need to balance this out. I realize things haven't always been great. I realize I've been run through the ringer. I've had to deal with a lot of bullshit, but it's not fair for me to put other people through the ringer because I went through it at one point. And for anybody who's looking to reconcile, it's the same concept in the fact that I feel like you're balancing your priorities out, and you're also realizing, like, maybe you've blamed them. They left, or they argued, or they were the ones always doing something wrong, And now you've realized that, like, you're putting on, again, this, you know, I've got this space. But inside you're going, holy crap, I made some mistakes too, and maybe I need to think about that. So if you're looking to reconcile, this tells me the past 2 weeks, maybe you've been making changes to get to that stage. You've been making, you know, minor changes. Some of you may be making ginormous changes, but some of you, I feel like, are taking it baby steps. Like, okay, you know, I realize that this may have not been, you know, the best behavior to keep my partner around. And I think Libras are really kind of looking inside themselves this month, realizing that they deserve something wonderful, that they will find something wonderful, but that they need to make some changes too. Maybe they haven't been going about things all that, you know, thought out, so to speak. All right, so the next card you have is going to be the distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is insightful. This is clarity. This is honesty. So this ties in very well, and it's very interesting because every read I've done this month has probably tied in more than any other month I've done. So every single sign seems to be kind of ebbing and flowing very well, which, knock on wood, because I don't want to jinx anything. I still have, I think, 2 or 3 more signs to go, and I don't want theirs to be awful. But I haven't had any, like, terrible reads, or, like, with, you know, things that have made me kind of really skeptical about how their month's going to go, and everything has kind of flowed really well. Normally, I'm wondering, like, why did that card come up? I mean, that just doesn't fit in. But the Queen fits in very well here, because you're making the changes with the 2 of Coins, and the Queen is saying that you're looking into the future going, what do I want? What do I really want? What type of person do I want in my life? What type of person do I deserve? What type of person can I be in a relationship to give? You're being very, you're critically thinking. Now, don't be too critical on yourself, because that's the biggest thing here too. Libras can be very critical on themselves when they know that they've messed up, or when they know they haven't been the best person. They're almost too critical and they give themselves a hard time. There's no need for that, because there's always second chances. There's always, you know, new beginnings. So again, for the Queen of Swords, for the distant future, for singles, this is very good, because it tells me, no, do I think you're going to meet somebody immediately? Do I think you're going to fall in love tomorrow? No. But do I think that you're going to have major insight into what you want, what's going to make you happy, what type of partner you want, and be able to bring that to the threshold of dating? Absolutely. And I think that's where you're heading. And if you're looking to reconcile, I think this is very important too, because you are looking inside yourself. And I feel like contact is coming soon. I don't know if it's going to be this month or in the next, you know, 6 weeks. I don't know why 6 just popped into my head. But, you know, if you are looking to reconcile and you are going to reach out to that person, or they're going to reach out to you, this is telling me that instead of pointing the fingers, that you're going to be able to have a calm, decent conversation and say, look, I messed up, you messed up, I didn't appreciate this, you probably didn't appreciate this, you know. And I get the feeling that some of you weren't able to give your all because of this, because you had to take care of baggage, or because you were so used to dealing with crap that you couldn't let your guard down. And so I have a feeling you have to take care of some things, and you've been taking care of some things, which is the 2 of Coins. Again, priorities, balance. And now this Queen of Swords is going to develop over time, where you're going to be able to be honest and be like, look, you know, I really wanted to do this, or I thought we were ready, or I thought we were going in the right direction, and I realized I had some major things to take care of. And I think for you singles, you do want love, you do want something special, but you're kind of like, all right, I need to make sure I'm in a good place so that I can be in a good place and treat that person well, and they can treat me well, you know, and that I'm picking people that are good for me. For anybody who's looking to reconcile, like I said, it's the same. It's similar to the fact that you're going to be not pointing the finger. You're going to be saying, okay, you know, I had some things that I'm not proud of. I didn't appreciate this with you, but there's no animosity. It's going to be more of a friendship developing into something special. So right now it looks like the possibility of reconciliation is good. Again, like, I just feel like there's, you know, some sadness or grief there. And it's always sad when you you know, separate from somebody, or, you know, whether you take a long separation or a permanent separation or a temporary separation, it's always hard. I mean, you know, we're human and things hurt, and that's okay. But it doesn't always have to be like this terrible, tragic ending. So, you know, the distant future looks good. Again, I don't see it being like for singles that you're rushing into some major relationship or you're going to meet the person of your dreams tomorrow. I think you're trying to kind of set your plan in motion, you know, get things smooth sailing before you are ready to develop a major relationship. But I do think that you'll date, you'll enjoy yourself, and maybe you'll start letting yourself enjoy yourself a little more. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks and in July, and you have strength. So strength is excellent, and again, this is all very cohesive, because for this card, I almost get the sense that that's kind of like Libras don't want to hear that. Like they want to hear like, oh, I'm going to meet somebody tomorrow and it's going to be wonderful. But you know you're not. For a majority of you, you know you're not. You know you're not in headspace too. You know you have a lot to take care of before you get there. The strength is patience. This card represents patience beyond belief. So that definitely tells me that even though you want it tomorrow, if I'll start with reconciliation first. If you're looking to reconcile, you're going, but I want you back. Or, you know, maybe your partner's been contacting you and they want you back. But something here is that you're kind of like, we'll get there, and you have the strength to hold on, and you have the ability for self-control and self-belief, but you're like, I'm not going to rush into anything because I don't want to get hurt and I don't want them to get hurt again, and it's all about patience. If you rush into something or it's not going to go right, you have to believe that the universe has a plan and that it's going to set itself in motion at some point. And if reconciling is what you really want and your partner wants it, it will happen. If you're single and you're looking for love, same thing. Be patient. You can do this, and you will meet somebody incredible. And this does tell me that you have a lot of self-control and you believe in yourself. You do have these queen qualities inside you. This may have been more of an external position coming in, but the strength says you have the confidence, and you have those, you know, personality traits inside of you, and they're going to come out in July, but it's going to be like pleasant. It's going to be more of a, you know, your outlook is going to be more positive. So maybe you have some things that are coming to a head. Maybe you have some major decisions to make, and maybe you're feeling like you're finally seeing things clearly, and maybe you're able to you know, meet some amazing people that eventually down the road could develop into something special. Again, with this card, it tells me it may take a few weeks, it may take a few months, but you're not going to be rushing anything. And I think that's super important, because maybe you've gone from one person to another person. Maybe you have a hard time being alone. Maybe you have a hard time, you know, because you need that, you know, you need that company and companionship. But this definitely says, you know, be patient. It's coming. Don't rush into anything, because you'll just keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over. The next card you have is any future external factors. So anything throughout the month of July that might be going on, you know, externally, you know, around you, or, you know, at the office, or different things like that. And I don't know why I said office, but that makes me think that some of you are going to have some chaos at work, because the Five of Wands is about chaos and getting your priorities in order, and some competition. So it's very interesting, because priorities have fallen in these spaces, and so your reading is cohesive, as many have been this month, like I said, but it seems to be a repeating pattern. These are strength and patience, and, you know, being logical and clear, seeing clearly, and this is all about priorities. So the Five of Wands externally tells me that throughout July there may be some ups and downs at work. If you're single, there may be ups and downs as far as dating. Maybe you've just kind of given up and you're like, I'm not really going to date, but if I meet people, great, and maybe you'll meet a few people out and about. Maybe you'll meet somebody randomly, you know, I don't know, walking down the street, but it seems like it may end up just being kind of too chaotic, or maybe you still have some things to get together before you can actually date or give somebody the time and energy that you want to. The 5 is, you know, it seems like a lot of things around you are either going really well or they're burning to the ground. And then if something that's going really well in the middle of July, it may feel like it's burning to the ground, and things that felt like they were burning to the ground are now doing better. So it feels like you're trying to balance things out, and you're getting there, and you're trying to organize your priorities. But I really, Libra, get this feeling that you're like this ball of anxiety in your brain. Like, you're trying to make things happen, and you want this, but you've got to take care of this, and you want to, you know, clear some things up here, and you want to take care of things over here, but you almost feel like you're at a standstill because you're like, I don't know what to work on first. And there's also some competition here, so it could be that you're feeling like, you know, if you are trying to date somebody, or if you've met a few people that you're interested in dating, that there's going to be interest in them by other people, or maybe you have, you know, 1 or 2 people competing for you. But again, I don't feel like there's anybody that, you know, you're going to meet this month that's somebody that's going to be a long-term companion. I think you're going to meet a few people, you might go on a few dates, but I don't see it being anybody that you can put time and energy into it, because you are taking care of whatever this chaos is. You know, some of you, maybe you lost a job, maybe you, you know, it's summer, and so maybe you have your kids more. Whatever the case may be, you're kind of playing a juggling act right now. The next card you have is always going to be the future internal factors. That was external. This is internal. It's very interesting. You have fire in both of them, and you have the Tower. So this is how you're feeling inside. A lot of times when you get this in this position, or externally, or, you know, in like a life-changing type event, the Tower means you're kind of rebuilding. Everything burned down around you, and you're building from the ground up. You're building new foundation. Kind of went through a dissolution. You know, things are kind of melting around you. You found a revelation, and you're going with it. And this matches well with the priorities and everything like that, because the Tower is telling me that inside you're going, okay, I need to change some things. I need to change some major things. I need to change, you know, things about me. I need to change things about my surroundings. I need to change things about, you know, maybe you don't want to repeat patterns in the past. This keeps popping back up to me, so I really feel like, Libra, you're going, hey, you know, man, I spent a lot of time with this person for years and years and years, and they took advantage of me, and I have brought that into every relationship. I've not let people get close. I've always been kind of like, I can take care of everything. I don't need your help. I don't need, you know, somebody messing in my stuff. I don't need somebody telling me what to do, whatever. And this is kind of you going, okay, I need to change. I need to find somebody different. I need to let somebody care about me. I need to let somebody take care of me. I need to, you know, let my guard down and let somebody know, you know, that I can't do everything by myself. And I think that that's going to help a lot in your dating life going forward, because you're going to rebuild. And again, I think some of you are not only rebuilding how you feel and what you want, and finding this, you know, having this patience to really think about who you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because I feel like in the next year, you're going to meet people, and they could be somebody that you would potentially spend the rest of your life with. And that's incredible, but you have to make some changes. And these 2 cards, for anybody looking to reconcile, I mean, the 5 of Wands is about priorities too. It's about getting your priorities straight. It's about, but I feel like maybe some of you are jealous, or somebody's jealous about you. I feel like maybe there is some competition here. Maybe you're finding out that your ex is dating. Maybe you found out that, or maybe they found out you were dating. But I can't imagine you would be watching this for reconciliation if you were dating enough to where, you know, you're going to ruin any chance you have. I think this is more, maybe you're coming in, like I said, that you're coming in feeling good and going on dates, but you know you're not going to take it to the position of, you know, sleeping with somebody or whatnot. And I feel like for you, this may be chaos too, because you're kind of like, every time we talk, or we're not speaking right. Maybe if you are in communication, things are being garbled, and so you're not getting across what you want to say and they're not getting across what they want to say, and you kind of feel like, gosh, this is just chaos, nothing's coming out right. But the Tower tells me that anybody who's looking to reconcile, that, you know, you've had a revelation, and either you really want to be with that person and you're going to make it happen and you're going to do what it takes, or you're not, and you're just going to be like, you know, we're better off saying, you know, goodbye or being friends. But the Tower is about, it can be about betrayal, but because this is internal, it's like you betrayed yourself. It's like you're feeling like, if you're looking to reconcile, you're feeling like you let somebody down and you're not sure how to fix it, or somebody let you down and you're feeling betrayed, and instead of like doing something about it, you're almost like letting it build up into a fire inside yourself. And it's like it's like you're feeling so much that you're just kind of burning up inside, but at the same time you're mad at yourself, even though you really want to be mad at the other person. I really get the sense that a lot of you are kind of like, you know, I'm so mad at them, I can't stand them, and yet you know, like, that you're partially to blame for it. And so it's interesting, because I think that some of you will reconcile, and then I feel like because of the Tower, some of you won't. But the majority of you, I think if you do, it's going to be over time. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to go back to friendship mode. You're going to have to go back to getting to know each other. You're going to have to build that foundation of trust and build that up. But let me tell you something, and I've been telling a lot of signs that this month, because I've been seeing a lot of similar cards. If you want somebody back, playing this card of like, you know, I can go out and date and I've got all these people, you've got to be really careful with this kind of stuff, because I get a lot of messages, or I'll talk to people who are like, oh, I wish, you know, I could talk to her, him again. And I think that this month and the next few months might be really, you might need to be really cautious in how you play your cards, because I've seen a lot of this type of, you know, making changes and whatnot, which is always for the positive. But I also have seen like some, you know, some fiery energy, especially internally. And so you want to make sure that you're not, if you truly want to be back with your ex, you need to be very cautious about burning them again, because I feel like for some of you, it's that, you know, it's like, that's going to make or break whether you guys get back together. And for others, if you're feeling that burnt up, you know, then it may be time to just, you know, take a step back. But again, I feel like this card in particular, because it's internal, that throughout July you're going to be feeling a little more, it's going to be more aimed at yourself. Like you're upset with yourself. You're feeling like this, you're showing this on the outside, but you're missing somebody, or you're feeling this a little bit, but then you feel this. It's like you go back and I miss them and I care about them. And I think that, you know, that most of the people you're interested in reconciling with feel similar, feel like they missed you as well, but you're like too burnt up, you can't go back. But then you feel this, and you're kind of worried that they're going to fade into the past. Okay, the next two cards are going to be your hopes and fears for July, and you have the Devil, and your outcome for July, and you have the Sun. So very interesting. The Devil is about, I'm just going to say it right away, it's about vices, it's about drugs, it's about alcohol, it's about temptation, it's about jealousy, and not just jealousy and like, you know, ooh, I'm kind of irritated. It's like, you know, mad jealousy. So either if you're single, you're going to meet somebody who's jealous and you want to stay away from those people. If you're single, you also might be meeting people who do drugs regularly, who drink regularly, so you're going to want to watch that mask. This is also something that some of you are fearing, because this is very internal as well, the Devil. So maybe some of you are, you know, dealing with vices or addiction or dealing with jealousy, because again, this is internal. So I feel like some of you are fearing, and maybe that's where a lot of this change is coming from, that you got to get your life in order. You got to get your shit cleaned up. You got to change your lifestyle and the way you're behaving. And maybe, you know that full-heartedly. It's keeping you from actually having what you want or having a successful relationship. In the other aspect, like I said, you know, some of you dating, maybe meeting people who are, you know, they have vices or they have addictions or they have different things that, you know, you're trying to stay away from. So this is kind of a toss-up card, because this makes me feel like it could be you internally worrying about yourself, or it could be, you know, maybe that this person in your past who took advantage of you and whatnot was involved in some sort of vices. And your biggest fear is if you open yourself up to somebody, you're going to meet somebody who has those vices. For anybody looking to reconcile, this may also be the reason. Maybe you're feared that the person that you're looking to reconcile with hasn't quit the drugs, the drinking, or whatever it may be. And I apologize, I think fireworks just went off outside. They usually start, what, like 2 weeks earlier than the 4th of July here in the US, and somebody near me is lighting off some fireworks. But the devil clearly says that, you know, if you're looking to reconcile, that either you needed to make some changes with some vices, addiction, and it doesn't even have to be drugs or alcohol. It could be sex addiction. It could be, you know, gaming. It could be anything. Either you needed to make changes or your partner did, and you're kind of worried that they didn't, or you're kind of worried that they won't see the changes you made. And again, the devil could be work too. I mean, it could be you're a workaholic. You work too much, and you work so much that you didn't have time for the person that you love, and you're hoping that they'll see that you're making time for them now. So it doesn't have to be anything too major, or anything that's, you know, a health problem. It could just be that there are some things that you needed to get rid of. Maybe you had some skeletons in your closet you had to take care of, and now, you know, you're worried that you've waited too long and you didn't get rid of what you needed to. And for singles, could be the same thing. Maybe you have skeletons in your closet you need to get rid of, and you're hoping that, or this is almost more fear. You're fearing that, you know, maybe those skeletons will come back up to haunt you. And I think this month is going to be trying for some of you, but it's going to end up really well because you have the sun, and the outcome of the month is excellent, because the sun is about, it goes very well with, you know, the seeing clearly and having the patience. The sun is beautiful. The sun can burn you though, so it's almost like don't become disillusioned in something that is too perfect or seems too perfect right away, because you'll get burned. This is about you know, shedding light on your life, shedding light on what you want. And this is about truly finding yourself and truly finding somebody else. So I think it's amazing, because this tells me that by the end of July, you're going to have cleared out whatever baggage, whatever stuff you needed to clear out. You're going to have done that. And you're going to feel like, you know, a new light in your life. You're going to feel like you're ready. You're going to feel like you want to meet somebody special. And for anybody looking to reconcile, I think you're going to find new light on that possibility. It's very interesting. Most months, there's a couple signs that I'm like, you know, unfortunately, I don't see it. I don't know that it's going to happen. But this month, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because summer's here or what's going on, but there seemed to be a lot of opportunity for reconciliation. The sun overall just tells me, Libra, at the end of the month, there will be a glow. Maybe, you know, you've kind of been cold-hearted, maybe you've been feeling negative, but that's going to lift, and you're going to feel positive, and you're going to feel like you can love again or be loved again. And you're going to take care of whatever you need to do, and you're going to open yourself up. I mean, that's really what this is. You're going to, you know, allow people to see your glow and truly let them love you, and you truly find somebody to love. So again, I don't see you meeting the man or woman of your dreams this month, and for some of you, you may, but I feel like it's going to be a patient process. But at the end of the month, you're going to see like the light at the end of the tunnel. And for anybody looking to reconcile, same thing. I think that if you aren't going to reconcile, you'll see that light at the end of the tunnel, kind of like it's not going to happen. But for the majority of you who want to reconcile, this is new opportunities. This is beginning. This is, you know, your time, almost like the sun is shining down on you. And, you know, take it now, because I get the feeling for some of you, you've got this burning sensation and you've got this confidence, which is good, but you don't want to let that get the best of you to where you're not allowing yourself to truly feel some of the feelings you feel. And I think that's super important. So Libra, things may take some time. You may need clarity. You've obviously got some priorities and things you need to balance out. But with that being said, I really think you're like heading in a step of the right direction. I really feel like you'll be able to have a rewarding relationship in the next few months because of all the work you're putting in right now. So, and not work into necessarily meeting people, but work into yourself and work into clearing out these skeletons in your closet. And at the end of the month, you're going to feel like inviting the warmth back into your life. So anyways, Libra, I hope you have a great month. Can't wait to see you next month. Talk to you soon.